tons of speed. We are at the floor of the Chicago Auto Show here at the 2019 Chicago Auto Show, and we are specifically at the Wintrust Supercar Gallery. And this is where a lot of the high-end Chicagoland dealers come to show off the incredible amount of money you can spend on speed and horsepower. There's some fantastic vehicles here. So we're just gonna take you around, show you what's here at the auto show and what you can see if you come on by to the show later on this week and next week. The show goes live to the public on Saturday, which is February 9th. Very good. So here we got a Lotus Evora 400. This car stickers around $110,000 as it sits here right now, including the optional cruise control. The Evora has a 6-speed manual transmission. It will do 0 to 60 in about 4.1 seconds. Has about 400 horsepower. We've driven one of these. There's not a lot of torque to speak of, but hey, you know, it gets up once it hits about 6,000 RPMs. It gets up and goes. Handles like a dream, but as you can see, lots of carbon fiber pieces. Lotus still likes the cross-chilled rotors, even though nobody likes those for track anymore, but works for them. Hey, carbon fiber on the rear hatch moves the weight down, so you get a lower center of gravity. A very cool Evora. It's not the only Evora here. We're going to see another one on the other side real quick. This is probably my favorite car here, the 720S from McLaren. This thing will run you $375,000, which seems to be the magic number you're going to see. A lot of these cars run about that much. It has 710 horsepower, so why it's not called the 710S, I don't know. 720S must have sounded better.
European horsepower.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, the Europeans must have measured it a little differently. It's 212 miles an hour. It has really cool doors. The keys were here, we'd be able to show you. Do 0 to 60 in about 2.8 seconds. And it's finished in this beautiful electric blue. Hey, it even gets 18 miles per gallon, you know, for all you greenies out there. Anyway, this is the top of the line of the McLarens right now, except for the Senna, which is more of a very limited production, very expensive track car. But this is their mainstay top of the line supercar, which is a step up from the 570S that you see right here. This one is you're going to save a lot of money here. It's only $175,000 or so, so you're going to be able to use some of those ponies for tires and brakes. It's got carbon ceramics on this one. This is the Spider edition. None of these will come with a manual transmission. They all have paddle shifters. Unfortunately, there are no more supercars left with 3 pedals. I misspoke a little on the price because this one is actually $250,000. One of the other ones we'll get to from Aston Martin is down at $175. So if you've got $250 but not $375, this is the McLaren for you. Very cool doors, if you can see this. They channel all this air into the engine compartment because all McLarens are mid-engine. Very cool carbon fiber tub. Push button transmission, and then most of your shifting is going to be done with the paddles, which are pretty large. Nice steering wheel. And you gotta love the yellow stitching and yellow seat belts. McLaren does a minimalist interior. They work very nice though, so they're not gonna overwhelm you with a ton of buttons like on a Porsche. They are all about the driving. Aston Martin Db9. This one is, again, kind of top of the market for Aston Martin on their regular lineup. This is their flagship convertible. This one also is into the 300,000s. I'll get you the figure in just a second, but it's not especially fast. You know, it's got a 503 horsepower engine. It's about as quick as a standard Corvette Stingray, but you do it in much more style, the British flair. It's the preferred vehicle of James Bonds everywhere. This is gorgeous. bargain compared to the McLaren. Sets you back $216,000, and it even has back seats for your children with no legs. Sorry kids, we're gonna have to cut those legs off. And you're gonna have to sit straight up like at Spirit Airlines. So if you're used to flying Spirit Airlines, you probably don't have the money for an Aston Martin, but you'd be comfortable in the back seat of someone who does. Next on our tour of supercars is a Bentley that I don't care about because it's an SUV. Why people spend stupid amounts of money on SUVs like this that don't really do anything different than a Range Rover, I don't know. I don't understand. This is the Rolls Royce Dawn on the left, though. And Rolls Royce, most iconic luxury name with Bentley that there is probably in the world. It's a beautiful, beautiful car, another $375,000 car, but it's a convertible. It won't get you anywhere in record time, because they're limited to 155 miles an hour, but it's got a big engine in it, and it will get you there in style. You will never show up anywhere worrying you underdrove the park. You didn't bring enough car. Suicide doors on this one. Very cool. We just saw a Lincoln with suicide doors to bring it back, which is about time. A lot of bling in the interior there. Now this one is the Fisker. Well, it used to be the Fisker Karma. Now it's the Rivero, but I can't figure out if it's the Rivero Karma or the Karma Rivero, because a company bought Fisker out of bankruptcy, and it's a little confusing as to what the name of this car is. Is the company now called Karma, and this is the Rivero model, or vice versa? I don't know. It says it's a Rivero Karma, so that's what I'm thinking it is. Anyway, it's not as fast as a Tesla, but it's much better looking, and it's all electric. It has a solar panel rooftop, which was the Fisker Karma's main feature. Plug-in, obviously, being all electric, but very, very beautiful shape, and the interior on this thing is really nice. This is from Glenview Luxury Imports, folks that we know back in our hometown area, and one of the only dealers in the area. So if you are looking for one of these and you live in the Midwest, you probably are going to be visiting these people. Take a look at this car. All right. Next is one of my favorites. This is the Aston Martin Vanquish. Check out this rear diffuser. All this lovely stuff going on in the back of the car. This is the one that's only about 180,000 or so. It has the same motor as the DB11, but a lot lighter and faster package, so it actually is a much quicker car. And I believe you used to be able to, and you might still be able to get these actually with a manual transmission.
We're spoiled. We're spoiled.
503 horsepower out of the supercharged 5-liter engine. They even put a little British flag on it. Sorry, it is 503 horsepower, but it's a 4-liter supercharged engine. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful car. Look at that beautiful modeling for us. Nice. We didn't have to pay her anything. All right. Crossing over to the other side. Lotus Evora 400. We already did this car, but this is the blue one. It's a little bit cheaper, probably doesn't have the cruise control. But hey, who needs cruise control when you're buying a track car? have to get the detail. You got to see the detail in this dark work. This is carbon fiber. I've never seen anything like that on a car before. It's absolutely gorgeous. It'll do 202 miles an hour. It's got over 600 horsepower. The Performantes are fastest of the Huracans, and this is the Spider version. This is absolutely beautiful. The cockpit is what you'd expect in a jet fighter. Love the switches, and it carries that black camo look through there that you get on the wing in the back. And even on this header up here, it looks so cool.
This is just more or less a better collection. You're not really going to drive it.
If you like the Performante, be prepared to cough up some coin, about another $375,000 car. Like I said, that was going to be the magic number today. So if you happen to have about $400,000 in your pocket to spend on a car plus tax, you can pick up a lot of these. Carbon fiber seats, by the way. And that front spoiler on this thing is so nice, so low to the ground. And hopefully you never crack one if you buy one of these cars, because I'm sure that's expensive material. Now, if you happen to have 10 times the budget that I just talked about, then there's your car. $3.5 million by a Bugatti Chiron. It has like almost 2,000 horsepower. It's a super duper car. It's insane. I don't know what you'd do with this much car, but check out the view from the rearview mirror through the glass over the twin cams of the W16 engine. There's probably 4 cams in there, if I'm not mistaken. For turbochargers, carbon fiber everywhere. These taillights look like they're bleeding, and they probably feel like that at speed. The weave, yeah, this is actual carbon fiber. This is just colored carbon fiber. I mean, it comes right through. They didn't paint over it. It's beautiful. This is more of a work of art than an automobile. The inside of the car, I don't know if you can see through the window or not. That center stack, I mean, you talk about minimalist and just Art Deco. Wow. It's just wow. As they would say in the UK, though, I don't know where the sat-nav is, but it's, hopefully you know where you're going and you're not getting lost in your $3.5 million car. Everything, even the mirror covers, are covered in that carbon fiber. Yeah, this is where the air goes. See the air filters in there. It's insane. I don't think this thing's been driven anywhere because there isn't a speck of brake dust on the actual rotors, which are the size, I don't know. I was gonna say dinner plates, but maybe for like giants. Everything about this car is so over the top, it's ridiculous. But thank God, you know, someone's out there making cars like this, because while I could never buy one of these, at least I get to look at them and talk about them. And we know that one exists in the world and it does crazy things. Like go 261 miles an hour. Now Koenigsegg is beating it as the fastest car, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful machine. All right, next we have the top of the line Lamborghini Aventador. Although they keep doing special editions, so I can't really say top of the line, but their mainstay top of the line, Lamborghini Aventador. This thing is up over $600,000. I mean, like it's, where are we, $608,000? That's, you know, as the Performante and the Huracan keep getting better, this car keeps getting more expensive, and it gets better too. So it's obviously got this really cool matte green finish, but featuring 770 horsepower, or 60 more than the McLaren did. It'll do 217 miles an hour, and it'll hit 60 in 2.8 seconds, which is about where all these supercars between 2.3 and 2.9 seconds land. It's got a double front chin spoiler, and it's got this. This is an air vent. It's actually functional. It sends the air that goes in here, goes up through there, and pushes the front of the car down, along with all the splitters and everything else going on in the front. Along with on the sides, you've got the vertical pieces that come up off that front splitter. Again, you have huge carbon steel brakes. This thing has a bigger air intake than the Chiron did. Just absolutely huge behind the door. Probably the closest thing to a Batmobile if you put that in matte black. Absolutely. And the diffusers on this thing could plow a field with them. I mean, it's I would love to see a video of that. Someone plowing a field with a Lamborghini Aventador. Just got to get the front wheels off the ground, that's all. So as much as I didn't like the Bentley because it's stupid, this is an awesome SUV. This being the Lamborghini Urus. Just because it looks so cool. I actually saw a couple of these being, I think they were being photographed in Iceland. They actually had two of them just in the country in Iceland, and they were moving around at different really cool locations. I'm sure for a photo spread, maybe for a brochure or something like that. But it was before the cars even came out here, or in England, or in Europe, I should say. Really cool wheels. And I'm not sure why they went with the green calipers, but why not? It's a Lamborghini. You get to do things normal car companies wouldn't do. So it runs $237,000, 650 horsepower, goes 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds, and do a top speed of 190 miles an hour. So it is actually a Lamborghini. It's very, very, very cool. And you know, got to be over the top. You got to have all this front grille work. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a Lamborghini. We're not doing another same car we ignored before. We'll do it again. There's another Rolls Royce. I think this is the Phantom or the Ghost. But it's a roll. It's crazy. It's just so cool.
Smile.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sandy, look at you.
Yeah.
I'm leaving you.
Janet, hop in the side. Oh, I'm sorry.
So I was right the first time. It is the Phantom. And you got to check out on the door there. They put the little flying lady who's, it's the symbol for Rolls Royce embossed in leather in the door. That's at over $600,000, I'll buy it. This is a moving statement. It's got suicide doors. And this is where you put your umbrella. So there's a little ejection button, but there's no umbrella in there now because even journalists can't be trusted with things that you can remove from a car. You have your own climate controls. Because really, you spent $600,000 in a car, why should you drive it? Let somebody else take you around. Absolutely plush, lush, sublime back here. That is a lot of leather. Yeah, the footrests are just... This is the equivalent of flying first class. covers. You know, we've got another Rolls over here. This was the Phantom. That's the Wraith. This is their sporty version. Very, very cool. It's kind of like the Bentley two-door Continental's been. $444,000+, 624 horsepower. They're all limited to 155 miles an hour, but it'll do 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. Of course, the speed is not what cars like this are about. No, it's denied. It's just luxury. This is absolute luxury. All right. Well, we really hope you enjoyed this walk around the Supercar Gallery here at the Chicago Auto Show at 2019. Come on down if you're in the area. Take a look around. Tons of stuff to see. This is the world's largest auto show. And next time we're out and about, we'll bring you whatever we can from the floor of the show. But for now, this has been Brent with Sons of Speed. We'll catch you next time.
But I'll add my number regardless.